Kings Island, a park at first glance that doesn't look like anything truly special until you walk into the park. When you first walk into that front gate, you're not expecting the atmosphere to hit you the way it does. As of this recording, I have visited Kings Island 4 times, and every single visit has done nothing but get better for me. So in today's video, I'm going to explain to you guys in detail of how Kings Island absolutely blows me away. When it comes to parks with lots of heavy hitters, the first park that usually comes to mind on your average enthusiast train of thought is Cedar Point. And while admittedly Cedar Point does have quite the lineup, I personally think that Kings Island's lineup is a little bit more well-rounded, especially in the quality department. Cedar Point definitely has all of the other Cedar Fair parks beat when it comes to quantity, but what about quality? So hear me out, guys, because I know the statement that I'm about to make puts me in the minority. Personally, I couldn't find much as far as quality goes in Cedar Point's lineup. And like I said, admittedly Cedar Point has a lot of heavy hitters, but really only a few of the rides in Cedar Point's lineup managed to blow me away. And those 3 rides would be Raptor, Maverick, and Steel Vengeance. So Austin, isn't this supposed to be a Kings Island video? Why are you talking about Cedar Point? The answer is very simple. Cedar Point is a very good park to use as a compare and contrast candidate. Cedar Point is a park that is highly revered amongst coaster enthusiasts. So when making my points about Kings Island, comparing and contrasting it with Cedar Point will help get my points about why I think Kings Island is a superior park across to you guys. And a little bit of a disclaimer before I make anybody upset here. This is all based around preference. So going back to my first point about why you need to visit Kings Island as soon as possible. The quality is straight up there. As I stated before, the only rides at Cedar Point that managed to blow me away were Raptor, Maverick, and Steel Vengeance. The rest of Cedar Point's lineup I felt was a little lackluster. When visiting Cedar Point next time, I can't really see myself riding any of the supporting coasters behind Raptor, Maverick, and Steel Vengeance, other than really Gatekeeper, Magnum, and Millennium Force. And I consider these to be supporting coasters, even though they are well-rounded rides and they are considered to be heavy hitters amongst the park. Millennium Force is just a tad outdated for its time, and Magnum, for what it is, was probably one of the greatest coasters in the world when it opened. And Gatekeeper in general is just a unique ride that I would at least want to experience one time when I'm there. So what I'm trying to say is, Kings Island's lineup blows me away a little bit more than Cedar Point's does. As I stated previously, there's only 3 coasters that I can see myself really going out of my way for at Cedar Point. Having been to Kings Island 4 times now, there are at least 6 roller coasters that I know I'm going to be going after every time I visit. These 6 rides are going to be Orion, the Bat, the Beast, Banshee, Diamondback, and Mystic Timbers. So why would I go out of my way more for these 6 roller coasters over the 3 that I liked at Cedar Point the most? It's because riding these 6 roller coasters in conjunction with each other, I feel like are completely well-rounded. All 6 of these roller coasters are different and unique in their own ways. Orion offers everything from airtime to insane pacing to intensity. Which, by the way, hot take here, I honestly thought Steel Vengeance lacked in the intensity department. Diamondback, which is full of airtime, especially in the front row. And for the people that says it rattles, I don't know where you're getting that from, honestly. And let's not forget that beautiful splashdown element, Mystic Timbers, a really fast-paced wooden coaster with such a great layout and lots of ejector pops. And it has that breakneck pacing that GCI is well known for. Mystic Timbers, I found, also offers one of the best night rides that I have ever experienced and is somewhere along my top 10 night rides. The Beast. Okay, it's definitely got some dead spots, but it is the world's longest wooden roller coaster, and after the retrack, it's honestly gotten a lot better. And let's not forget about one of the best night rides in the world. I said Mystic Timbers landed around my top 10, well, the Beast is definitely in my top 5. This thing feels way faster at night, and it also adds a little bit to the intensity factor of it. Not to mention, you're just absolutely cruising through the woods with that awesome pacing it has at night. And let's be real here, who doesn't like going through the woods in the middle of the night on a roller coaster? All it does is just create an awesome experience overall. Banshee. This is a ride I know I'm definitely in the minority for. I absolutely love Banshee. Of all the inverted roller coasters by B&M that I have ridden as of this recording, I feel like Banshee has the most unique layout of them all. While many enthusiasts like to complain that it's not quote-unquote intense enough, I honestly thought Banshee was pretty intense. And the last major complaint about the ride, which similar to Diamondback, I still cannot get it into my head where enthusiasts get this from: where is the rattle on Banshee? Please tell me where it rattles, because when I rode it, it didn't have a rattle whatsoever, and I just cannot figure out what people are talking about when they say it rattles. And I have ridden Banshee on all 4 of my visits to the park. And last, but certainly not least, what I would consider probably the biggest surprise of Kings Island: the Bat. Guys, honestly, this ride does not get talked about enough. It's an old aerodynamic suspended swinging coaster where the chassis of the train swings on a horizontal axis. Chassis of the train will swing into lateral forces depending on the direction, either left or right. I feel like this roller coaster hasn't even begun to show its age yet. It's a very smooth roller coaster that offers a very surprisingly intense ride experience. And while I can continue to rave on about these 6 roller coasters in particular, let's not forget about some of the supporting coasters. And yes, I consider all 6 of those roller coasters that I just mentioned to be heavy hitters. I stand by what I said. Anyways, moving on, here's a couple of other huge surprises that I found at this park. Firstly, I want to talk about Invertigo. Even though that's an old Vekoma inverted boomerang coaster, this thing is insanely underrated. It's not as rough as you would think it is, and it's very, very intense. I definitely was not expecting this ride to be as good as it was, but here we are. And the last surprise for me was the Racer. This ride does have several airtime moments, and they're pretty decent. But the fun factor behind this ride is racing your friends or family on the other side. And that's really the fun in racing coasters, the competitiveness of it. This is what I mean when I talk about quality at this park. From the outside, it doesn't look like it, and on paper, it doesn't seem like it, but once you get into that park, the atmosphere and the vibes are absolutely immaculate. This park is extremely well-rounded, and it was absolutely designed for everybody of all ages to have a blast. This park left such an impression on me that I actually was upset that I was leaving that park to go visit Cedar Point for the first time. Sitting here as we speak, as I record this video, I very much wish I could go back to Kings Island right now. I honestly just cannot see anybody having a bad day at this park, and while I will admit there are some negatives to the park, which they're very minor other than the operations of some of the rides, you really can't go wrong with the experience that Kings Island has to offer. This park has everything for anybody. Thrill seekers, families, kids, you name it, this park has it. And not to mention, let's not forget about the revered blue ice cream. This blue ice cream was super hyped up for me, and let me tell you, that blue ice cream was absolutely bussin'. I'm gonna say it right here and now in this video that if you visit Kings Island and you don't at least try blue ice cream, you're making a mistake. Very obviously, that excludes people that don't like ice cream or have allergies. Another thing that I really want to discuss about Kings Island is how beautiful this park is. The park is very well maintained, and it's very sanitary as well. As far as theme park bathrooms go, Kings Island's absolutely exceeded my expectations. I did not expect their bathrooms to be as clean as they were. There was hardly any litter, if any at all, on the pathways, and the park offered tons of beautiful foliage for you to soak in and admire. Seriously guys, I really don't have much negative to say about this park. Even in my shortest visits, I still had an absolute blast. And as I stated earlier, I prefer this park over Cedar Point all day. While Cedar Point may have some higher quality rides that are higher up in my rankings, I think Kings Island has more quality rides overall. And there is a ton of variety in the lineup, on top of all the other great things that this park has to offer. Another really cool and neat experience that you can do at Kings Island, I highly recommend trying this if you're not afraid of heights, is the Eiffel Tower experience. If you are a roller coaster photographer like me, then this spot has awesome views for you to grab shots of the roller coasters. And it's great for the families too, because as a family you can go up there and really take in the atmosphere of the park and admire it together. Really guys, I can just keep going on and on about this park and how great it is. Another thing that I really want to give this park props to is at the time of this recording, Kings Island was celebrating its 50th year anniversary. Me and my brother stuck around for the 50th anniversary show, and it was absolutely mind-blowing how great it was. The whole Main Street Plaza had a phenomenal lighting package, as well as the Eiffel Tower. And let's not forget about the pyrotechnics. They had flamethrowers in the middle of the waterfront, as well as fireworks, and they had awesome fireworks going off behind the Eiffel Tower around the area where the Beast is. And here's a pro tip for you guys. If you're seeking out a Beast night ride, get in the queue line at around 9:30 because they're gonna shut the Beast down for the fireworks show that goes on. Which also, I forgot to mention, the 50th anniversary show starts at park closing, which when I went to the park it was at 10 p.m. They will in fact honor that you were in the queue line for the Beast as that show was occurring, and they will clear out the queue line and finish out the night regardless if the park is closed. The last thing that I really want to gush over before I finish the video is how nice the employees there are. I don't think I have been to a park yet where the employees are as nice as the ones that work at Kings Island. And that just furthers the excellent experience that you're guaranteed to get at Kings Island. So guys, what are your thoughts on my review of Kings Island? Have you been there yet? And are you dying to go now if you haven't? Do you agree or do you disagree with me on some of my points? Let me know down in the comments. And lastly, I want to mention that this is not a Cedar Point hate video, and a review of that park is also coming soon. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching guys. This is Austin from Derailed Coasters.